Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back on another video from Mother's Basement, and today we're checking out Hottest Trash Anime Spring Cleaning 2021. So I think this is going to be the anime to, if you're playing catch-up like me, to avoid. This season seems good, but if we want to watch stuff from the previous season, I think this is going to be a video to tell you what not to go for. So let's check it out, shall we?
I'll be the first to admit this video's a bit late. With my fall anime recommendations already out, it's definitely not accurate to call the trash of spring hot anymore. At this point, you could even say it's gathering frost, and I considered not recording this video at all. But even amid the distracting masterpiecefulness,
I feel like there's so much anime. We need these so when we're catching up. Odd Taxi Class.
Several gut-bustingly hilarious disaster pieces, and I feel duty-bound to highlight them.
Oh my god, what is that?
Trash connoisseurs everywhere.
Nice.
And with yet more Tesla notes being found weekly to further stink up the place, not to mention a huge custom order of 3 more crazy cult movies.
Oh, mate.
If I don't get on it now, I probably never will.
Can't wait to see the next video for that.
As always, I'll be rating these trash piles using a highly scientific and intuitive scale that needs no explanation, no matter how many people ask or how many times you ask.
Nice.
If you're still confused at this point, frankly, you're just not intuitive.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
Hot, lukewarmest trash of spring 2021. Like I said at the top of summer's trash rundown, the reason it's taken me so long to get to all these shows is I was simply too caught up in all the great anime.
Yeah, there's too much good stuff, yeah.
But that's simply not fair to how much went into these anime as well.
Yeah.
Sure, it takes remarkable writing talent to craft gripping fiction from an idea as mundane as, say, the life of an eccentric taxi driver or the adventures of a
Odd Taxi's so good.
But it takes equal talent in the opposite direction to make a concept like a Roman slave gladiator boxes his way through 100 death matches to earn his freedom feel utterly pedestrian and inconsequential. Cestus, the Roman fighter, postures like a dark, immersive period drama, Vagabond or Vinland Saga, but it plays, at least in anime form, more like a hackneyed sports soap opera sprinkled with occasional nuggets of ancient Roman history trivia and fun facts about the kind of damage boxers used to do to each other before the sport got all regular.
Oh, wow.
There is actually some decent fight choreography and grounded boxing strategy to be found here, but it's very deep, like ancient Pompeii, under layers upon layers of trashy ash. It says a lot when your CGI looks like this, your 2D animation looks like that,
oh my god,
and the script still manages to be your anime's biggest liability. So
so the script's that bad. My god.
Daytime TV cliche that this is a real line a real character really says while plotting her revenge against the hero for, quote, spurning her kindness.
I want you to make him regret ever becoming a fighting slave.
Not that you need it to understand how dumb that is, Cestus directly causes the execution of the closest thing he's ever had to an older brother via off-screen volley of poorly drawn arrows.
Wow.
A little over 4 minutes into episode 1. And if you're thinking, golly, that's kind of quick, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh my god. And she wants to make him regret becoming a slave. I'm pretty sure he's regretted it already. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god.
With a commitment to speedrunning excellence that would outdo even the Promised Neverland Season 2 if it existed.
If it existed, there we go, yeah. So bad!
8 manga chapters.
My girlfriend's got the final volume of Promised Neverland, so once I've caught up One Piece, I'm going to read that.
Counting their OPs, EDs, and the first episode's pointless cold open. Then, in the middle of episode 2, it wrong warps all the way to Pompeii in chapter 90. And before that episode's done, it's at chapter 96 and a half, with episode 3 butchering the next 8. All this to set up a single 9-chapter fight that the anime draws out for 3 episodes.
Oh my god.
Time on boss fights. Still, the strats here are so efficient that even that's not
It's crazy.
filler. Director Toshifumi Kawase learned plenty of skip tricks adapting Umineko, and the rest of Cestus keeps up that breathless pace to reach a cliffhanger conclusion at Chapter 25 of the sequel manga. So that's 179 chapters total in just 11 episodes.
Oh my god.
Which is probably a world record.
That's one hell of a
Exactly,
speed
go
run.
check out
Jesus
the
Christ.
Laserdisc archives, but with its aggressive any percent strategy, Cestus basically laps even Hakyu Hoshin Engi's legendary 24-episode, 206 chapter run. In recognition of this possible achievement, I'm awarding Cestus 3 post-Toga Party frat house dumpsters.
Right.
All of which are a
Okay, yeah, give me that.
fire on account.
Oh, that's a lot of chapters.
Next up, after watching Fairy Ranmaru spend literally an entire minute of its first episode on 5 guys reading white text against a black background in unison, my hopes were not high for the series overall.
Oh dear, that doesn't sound very good at all, does it? No.
But here we learn a valuable lesson in not judging books by covers, including the jacket blurb, because as soon as that exposition's been dumped, this show starts getting nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, the overarching story of 5 hot fairy boys learning to navigate the human world does need a bit of time to get going.
Of course,
but
of course.
The boys' villain of the weekly job in our world is to solve the relatable, realistic problems of forlorn Fujoshi by transforming into even hotter, substantially more magical boys. And
My
because
God.
the way the show is paced, it's got to plow through each of those relatable, realistic problems in one episodic fight flat. It's forced to explore
Oh my God.
with a slight degree of abstraction, exaggeration, and
Wow.
some might
Pretty boy,
say
pretty boy, pretty boy.
insanity. For example, in the first
Jesus.
episode, the very real societal issue of Japanese students ganging up on individual classmates and driving them to isolation and potentially suicide through bullying
Yes.
is represented through a single multitasking mean girl quad-wielding smartphones and laptops stuffed with enough sock puppets to trick her romantic rival into thinking their entire class hates her.
What
Also,
the hell? That is
the
way too much
likely
effort, man.
unsubtle abstract Madoka space made of eyeballs and social media feeds that represents this conflict.
What?
The villainess attacks our hero with a Frieza death ball that is the Twitter logo.
All writers who use subtext and are all cowards.
The following episode follows a female manga artist whose
That's ridiculous.
not shonen
Oh my
replaces
God.
her magical boy protagonist with a lolly magical girl by redrawing her entire manuscript himself, I guess, which gets her fired when it flops, but the day and her job is saved when a magic muscle man in assless chaps righteously crossfire hurricanes his way through physical manifestations of Moe itself
Yeah.
to kick that one creep's butt.
Not even
and
Moe
solve
will stop
sexism
me.
among the industry.
Jesus.
Also, side note, those Moe manifestations appear to be a Digi Count-Out reference, which
Okay.
is a weird thing to see in 2021. Weirder still to see twice, though Akiba's Trip HD at least has the excuse of being a decade old.
Right, yeah, okay.
None of this is smart or subtle or particularly helpful in expanding the viewer's understanding of these underlying issues, but it sure is fun to watch and describe, and I'm willing to bet this show's target audience will find as much catharsis in it as I do in anything that panders this hard to straight dudes. Especially looking at the anime's production values. Fairy Ranmaru's not always
It
visually
seems
striking,
very,
especially
very
with its
strange.
PowerPoint, but from the instant each episode's central fairy twink smooches and feels the sad girl of the week to
Oh my
transform into a JoJo twunk and save her from her lady's strife, it really
Jesus.
pops off. Those transformation sequences put the horn level
Oh my
nipple
God, yeah,
fidelity
what the
of the
frick.
lecchiest ecchi you can name to shame, and the fights that follow are always fun and
Have a
energetic
JoJo's
with
in this
mad
world
effects
crossover
animation and gorgeously
event in a
over-designed
mobile game or
graphic
something, I don't know.
backgrounds. Like, yeah, it may not all tie together into the world's most cohesive metaphor or story or
does it
basic
need to?
logical progression of
Does
events
it
or
need
whatever,
to? Probably,
but
yeah,
that
it doesn't.
dude sure is fighting an army of evil Van Gogh sunflowers under the starry night sky, and that other dude's wrestling the heck out of that Picasso.
Whoa!
I'm willing to bet that 99% of battle edgy anime second or even first glance, thinking it's just not made for them, and it is absolutely not. So that is a totally valid response. But if you actually, or at least ironically, enjoy the battle ecchi genre itself for its very
find it funny. Might find it funny.
Hilariously transparent target audience pandering, its often brilliantly boneheaded writing,
Jesus.
not just because you like it when the cartoon titty go boing boing, then Fury Ranmaru has
Sailor
a lot more
Moon!
to offer you than you may realize, including lore every bit as beefy as the cakes on screen. But I don't want to spoil that.
God.
Any of the later episodes equally bonkers monsters of the week, because this show is a ride. For true trash connoisseurs, it may just be
trash
the most
connoisseurs,
exquisite
man.
dish of the spring season, which is why I'm giving it 4 towering trash can infernos, fueled by stacks of special yaoi books.
Seems to deserve it. Seems to deserve it,
It's not the only contender for the season's trash crown, though. Battle Athletes Victory Restart is a remake of a late 90s TV reimagining of a slightly earlier 90s OVA series about budding lesbians in crop tops and leotards doing sports in space. At first blush, it seems to be pretty typical in its trashiness, just another attempt at ecchi with art so bad it borders on body horror. But once its story gets going, that poorly drawn facade quickly peels away to reveal a face of abject madness. So the premise goes, in the distant future, as a substitute for war, girls from various human colonies are sent to a special university satellite where they must compete in various absurd athletic contests for the title of Cosmo Beauty. It's kind of like G Gundam, only way more homoerotic and way less sane, which, if you've seen G Gundam, you know should be impossible.
I have not, but I want to now.
Despite its lack of fighting in giant robots or otherwise, the cast of Battle Athletes Victory Restart is also clearly cut from the same fighting game story mode cloth as that of G Gundam. Each girl hails from a different planet in the solar system, and each one has their own largely unrelated and improbably melodramatic backstory and motivation for entering the tournament. There's a girl from Venus who has to compete for her family's honor on cyborg arms after losing a leg to a hilarious CGI truck accident. A teenage doctor from an impoverished colony ravaged by disease who seeks to use the position of Cosmo Beauty to build hospitals back home. A refugee from a civil war on the moon wants to use the position to end the fighting, and the daughter of the arms dealer supplying both sides of that conflict, who just happens to be roommates with the refugee girl, wants to make her family stop selling. It's unclear why she's there. Also, Roger, the kangaroo from Tekken, is here for some reason. The protagonist, Kanata, is your typical I love sports and friends and family type girl, and her goal is to fulfill a promise to a mysterious albino chick she met as a child. Coincidentally, there's a mysterious albino chick in the contest too, but probably not the same one. This girl,
I recognize her from somewhere, but I'm not too sure. What was my motive again?
Super athlete who's being used to nefarious ends by a shadowy organization of evil cyberpunk businessmen.
No, not the cyberpunk businessman.
Gorilla man who munches bananas and beats his chest Tarzan style.
That's hilarious.
In the middle of their sinister
That's dead funny.
This is some real 90s Saturday morning cartoon type villain, which makes it a bit jarring when they force the albino amnesiac girl to strip down in front of them and talk about her like a piece of meat. Or a piece of banana, in the Gorilla Guy's case. Like, seriously, that's an actual line of his. Also, they have a lot of terrorist bombings, which this grizzled detective-type guy is looking into. So, of course, they try to assassinate him by sending a hilarious CGI truck crashing through the wall of his favorite bar. And just in case that doesn't work, they also put a bomb on the hood of the truck. Not, like, taped to it or anything. It's just sort of sitting there as it plows through
just on top of it.
just
in case I put this here.
Weird space sports and school life comedy aspects of the concept. A choice I would call creatively misguided on the grounds that a story about a kayak race between a cyborg and a GMO super soldier where the goal is to shoot a giant whale with a fireworks plunger gun doesn't really need the the additional complication that one of the girls is concealing an invisible regular gun that her childhood friend, who is a terrorist, gave her to assassinate her roommate.
What
also,
the
side note to the battle
What?
athletes. As
What?
they are from the moon, these terrorist characters could have been any skin color other than brown. Just saying. This is perhaps not as bad as the original anime's sole African girl being a semi-feral wild woman who runs around on all fours and bites meat straight off the bone, but like, not remastering the racism was also an option.
Yeah.
That glaring issue aside, though,
Okay,
this
ignore
mix
that.
of
Oh my god.
school sports comedy and hard-boiled cyberpunk detective drama is at least a solid gold basis for unintentional comedy. And the hilariously god-awful production values and 11-year-old aspiring artist who just discovered hentai anatomy...
I can draw, mommy.
Battle Athletes Victory Restart gets 4 bins of 90s anime dojins and crumpled
Go on
tissues
then, we'll give it
were
that.
festering
I
in
agree with the
back of a
scoring.
comic
He's
shop
been quite
until
fair
the
so
owner
far.
opted down for the insurance. While we're on the subject of abject madness, I'd like to take a second to tell you about Osamake, the rom-com where the childhood friend absolutely will not lose. An anime which, as you might guess from the title, attempts to be a sly satirical subversion of
But it just
horror
fails,
genre
yeah?
tropes, but instead succeeds at being a rather intense work of psychological horror.
Oh god.
It's a Silent Hill sort of situation that places you in a familiar setting, surrounded by seemingly familiar character archetypes, but everything just feels ever so slightly off.
Right.
Like something alien and incomprehensible is pantomiming our species' social and mating rituals for its own perverse amusement.
Right.
Nobody on screen ever behaves like a rational or even irrational.
Oh, so are they just badly written characters then? Is that what it is?
Nonsensical events constantly pass without comment, and I'm pretty sure several of the characters are at least capable of being serial killers, even if they haven't tried it yet. As Osamake begins, we learn that Sueharu Maru has already turned down his childhood friend Kuroha Shida's confession because he's crushing on their classmate Shiroku Sakachi. She is a teen writing prodigy and published author.
Oh god, look at what she's wearing.
Shook Maru to his very core and instantly made him fall for her. Well, that and her innate great value Mai Sakurajima charms. Unfortunately, just as Maru's planning his confession, he learns that Shirokusa's already gotten herself a boyfriend. A popular teen actor, no less. In response, Kuroha offers to help him get revenge on Shirokusa for the crime of not taking the feelings a classmate she'd barely spoken to, never told her about, into account before deciding to date someone else. That's some incel shooter logic.
Damn.
Lucky for this video's monetization prospects, their method of revenge isn't nearly that severe. Instead, Kuroha just pretends to be Maru's girlfriend in order to make Shirokusa jealous, which is obviously just an excuse on her and
for her to
anime's
go out with
part to
him.
shake her stuff in his and our face as frequently as
I mean,
possible.
oh god.
But
Get it out
enough,
of my
does
face.
actually work to help him get closer to I can't believe
That's
it's not Bunny Girl
weird.
Senpai.
No.
And that's when shit really hits the fan. You see, while Maru didn't know this, and thus his desire for revenge is still totally deranged, he and Shirokusa aren't just high school acquaintances. She's actually the secret second childhood friend he forgot about from back when he was a child actor. His virtuoso performances in dramas and her daddy's pharmaceutical commercials so inspired her as a young, shy tomboy to come out of her shell that she begged her daddy to pull strings and let her meet him. They made a lot of promises to each other at the time about him acting in something she'd write one day, but then he quit acting forever with no explanation.
Too much drama.
So she vowed revenge on him. But not just petty pretend to make out with your neighbor revenge. She went full Count of Monte Cristo. everything about Shirokusa. Her personality, her looks, her style, the novel she wrote was meticulously researched and precision calculated to make Maru specifically fall in love with her. All so that she could then break his heart by getting a boyfriend. But in
What?
another Shakespeareanly tragic twist,
Oh,
the
this is too
reason
much.
he
This
stopped
is
acting
too
that she never knew, despite
much.
all that research,
Here we go.
until he told her, prompting her to confess all this, is that acting killed Maru's mother. She was filming a car accident.
Sorry,
What? The
what?
car hit her? No, don't be fucking stupid. I told you acting killed her, not an automobile. It missed as intended. She was a perfect actress who always hit her mark. It's just that she hit this particular mark so hard, acted so good, that when she pretended to die,
This is so
she
ridiculous.
died for real. Now, I know what you're thinking. Jeff, this is a comedy. It says so in the title. Obviously, that's an absurd scenario that we're supposed to laugh at. And yes, that may very well be true of the original light novels. But if it is, nobody told the anime crew.
Oh wow, did they make
this
it?
plot beat 100% straight as a life-altering tragedy that everyone cries about a whole lot while sad music is playing in the
Oh
background.
no.
And maybe playing it straight is supposed to be the joke, but then
It
the
doesn't
show
hit.
really muddies that interpretation by also having actual identifiable jokes.
Because
or
you see,
at least
it sounds so
horribly
ridiculous it could be
gestures
funny, but if
toward
it's
the
not delivered that
concept of
way,
the joke.
then
It's also not
Ha,
the only
what the
time
hell
the
is
show
going on?
seems to be completely unaware of how blisteringly stupid its story really is. Like, take a look at this YouTube video of the main character dancing up on a stage. The entire plot of the second act requires us to believe and accept that this performance single-handedly catapulted Maru back into the public eye in an unambiguously good way that instantly opened opportunities for him to jump back into acting and make millions of dollars.
oh wow.
before he
I
even
wish that was
graduates.
like how it.
Yes, this dance,
Whoa.
the one you're looking at right now.
Okay.
Viral sensation.
Whoa.
Everyone loves it. Give that man
Yes.
a commercial.
Bam.
By the way, that video was taken during the first arc's climax at the school's annual Confession Festival, an event where
The
students
annual
get up on
Confession
stage in front
Okay.
of everyone in order to ask their crushes out with a microphone. We are meant to believe, as
But this is a thing, that
prerequisite
people would
for
be alright with this.
understanding this plot, that not only do kids participate in this carnival of public humiliation willingly, but that the parents and teachers
Are alright with
help
it.
organize it.
Yeah, like
I'm
what?
telling you, that is at least as incongruous as Silent Hill's kindergarten cop high school. Osamake is what happens when a writer possesses intimate understanding of romance as a genre, but only distant theoretical familiarity with romance as a concept and
Oh,
lived
it's so
experience.
bizarre.
Also humans as a concept. With that said, at least the Mad Lib's unpredictability of it all and the Herculean efforts the all-star cast of voice actors take to sell it make for an entertaining watch. I'm giving this one 3 blazing back-alley dumpsters full of discarded love letters and some thick black hefty bags whose lumpy, unidentified
Yes, yes.
contents
Seems
are
about right.
starting to smell
I would probably give it the
suspiciously
same if I'd seen it.
And with that, we have come to the end of Spring's Trash. Or at least the end of the stuff I had time to look at.
Just check,
the
yeah.
Fall rundown and the next Happy Science Roast. Sorry to all the
Can't wait for the
disappointed
next
Reflection
Cult
Ray,
Anime one.
Tui the animation haters out there, but I do want to make a video about bad video game anime at some point.
That'd
so
be,
I'm sure
yeah,
I'll
that's a
get their
good
time
idea.
to-
Wow, because
What's the
some of
opposite
the
of
anime
shine?
adaptation
Anyway,
or
thank
video
you,
game
all of you,
based
for watching this roast
anime
to the
are
end. I thought it was
awful.
worth the wait.
But then some.
And an extra big
Alright.
thank you goes, of course, to Rosetta Stone for supporting its creation. Remember to let me know down below what legendary untranslated video games, or in the spirit of this video,
That would be a good
Kuso
video,
game
actually. I
you
would
plan
like
to
to see
play
that.
with your newly acquired Japanese skills in the comments down below. I'm Jeff Thu, professional trash sommelier,
It's different now.
signing out from the
From,
bottom of a certain religion's
Mother's
pits.
Basement. The outro's never the same now, is it? They sound atrocious. And they sound so bad might check them out. But anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video we upload, links in the description to the Patreon page. $1 a month is all that helps support the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys very much for that. And thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you don't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what you watch because of future videos. And I'll see you guys. Yes, all you guys.